Good morning, race fans, and welcome to day 2 of finals here at Wildcat Off-Road Park. This is the National Rock Racing Association race number 10, last one of the season, which is kind of hard to imagine.
Oh, yeah.
But we still have a lot of racing to do. We've got 2 jam-packed days still ahead of us. We had some great racing action yesterday. We are going to be kicking things off with Course 3 for our Super Grip UTV teen class this morning. I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown of the order that we are planning to run today. There might be some flexibility in there, but we're going to be starting off with Course 3 for our UTV teen class. Then we're going to have our UTV Cup Course 3, Bounty, UTV Bounty Course 1, and then the Bouncer Unlimited and Limited Course 1. We'll have our youth class, and then be back this afternoon for Course 2 for Bounty and the Bouncer classes.
Yeah, a lot of racing to kind of wedge in there. And, again, that can kind of vary slightly depending on, obviously, if we have a bunch of fast times, guys are cutting good times and everything's going smooth, versus if we have lots of recovery, some of that stuff might get pushed till tomorrow. If everything goes really fast, we might actually get more racing in today than we hope for. Because we have 4 courses over 3 days of racing, we try to get as much as we can because we do have our awards banquet tomorrow night.
That's right.
We do have to stop racing at some point to give away awards. So
we got a lot to fit in, so I hope you guys will hang with us and enjoy the action. But before we go to the line, let's take a quick look at our points standings right now for our UTV teen class. Brantley Havens is in the lead with 974, followed by Jace Northington with 956, Sadie Ellison with 865, and Josie Northington with 470.
Maddie Darnell coming in with 399. Caden Schaefer coming in with 221. Lucas Buffkin at 175. And Clara Holback with 83 points. And again, that's our UTV amateur class. That's kind of a mixture class between the youth, which stops at 12 years old, and before you go necessarily a stock class. So it's kind of that semi-professional league that lets people get a taste of what it's like to be in a big car doing big courses, but yet not do maybe some of the extreme stuff and not be in a side-by-side racing Wade Good or something.
Yeah, and our teen class has been doing an awesome job. This is our first season of the teen class. We are ready to see them hit Course 3. Let's head to the line and see who's first up. Welcome to Hillside Live, everybody. I hope that you are ready and planning to join us for a full day of racing. Welcome to our online audience joining us on our Rock Racing TV YouTube channel, and to our television audience joining us on Power Sports World. Hope you guys were able to catch yesterday's racing action as well. If not, you can always go back and check that out again on that Rock Racing TV channel. And, of course, we'll be live all day tomorrow, too, to wrap up all of our racing courses. Like Matt mentioned, we're fitting in 4 courses, or doing our best to fit in 4 courses for all of our classes this weekend. That's what we always do for finals. It's double the racing, double the points at stake, and a whole lot of fun out here at Wildcat.
Got Justin Holback down there with a few others running our race line starting gate.
And we've got Sadie Ellison starting things off today for us. Sadie did a great job racing yesterday. She had a 3rd place finish on Course 2.
Again, this is our amateur class, so they are racing a little bit easier course than maybe you saw our Cup guys race yesterday or our stock guys race yesterday. But make no mind, these are still very tough courses for someone out there in a UTV. Again, pushing hard, pushing fast. We still see guys kind of clip flags, roll over. We've seen actually our teen class race over at this park before.
Yeah. So it's been fun having the addition of this class this season. We talked a bit about it already, but like Matt mentioned, our youth class goes up to 12 years old, and then we had some of our drivers aging out of the youth class, but not quite ready to just jump into one of our other full-size classes yet. So we came up with this teen/amateur class as a way to kind of bridge the gap between the youth class and maybe the stock or cup or whatever they wanted to get into next. And so they're all racing these full-body razors, and it's for 17 and under, or 17 to 12. And it's been pretty fun to watch these guys get out here and tear it up. And honestly, I don't think you can tell just by watching them that this is our teen class. That just looks like our stock class racing around out here.
It really does. Again, they do a great job at it. Put a lot of time into it. I know they come down and pre-run as well, checking things out. So we'll see. That's a 96.044 for Sadie Ellison.
Our first time of the day. Looks like we've got Maddie Darnell on the line now.
We watched her dad, David Darnell, race yesterday in our UTV Cup class. Again, she was one of our drivers out pre-running last night. Yesterday afternoon, getting everything ready. Again, this is kind of a little bit of a tight woods course here at the bottom compared to this big, massive Mickey Thompson Mountain. We're going to see the bouncers kind of put a hurting on it later today, some of these big rock ledges. The first course isn't anything too wild, but I think the next three are going to be, we're going to see quite a bit of carnage on.
We got pretty lucky so far with yesterday's racing.
Yeah.
We had a few weird failures and such in the vehicles, but nothing too crazy as far as carnage goes. No major breakages. Although, we did have a couple. We got one skinny pedal nomination out of the day, at least, for Jason Hall and his, pirouette at the top of the wall. Oh, no! And we might have just gotten our second skinny pedal nomination.
Man. Dang it. Had a nice smooth run going. Again, those downhills are no joke here. Again, especially some of the ledges and ravines. Again, you talked yesterday quite a bit about how you had noticed that some of those ravines had washed out and made some super gnarly ledges. So, Maddie climbing out there.
We got the thumbs up. I don't know how Cody got over there so fast.
Cody Case in there helping her climb out.
Like a mountain goat.
Yeah, there was a handful of them helping put some side-by-sides back together yesterday. So he blew a main fuse, apparently the chassis fuse yesterday, and we had talked about his fuse, and he had blown, and I wasn't exactly sure what fuse it was. It was a chassis fuse, so he had no power steering. So he's like, I literally had to wrestle it the whole stinking time. So he said it was a rough go. All right, we got an AMSO action shot. Again, this is Maddie Darnell coming down. It looks like a pretty smooth downhill descent. And got rear end kind of donkey kicked a little bit, front end caught. Just brought that rear end over just enough to tip it.
I think she got maybe that front driver tire just a little into the bank, and that was enough to do it.
I've also been in that same spot in that exact same course.
Oh,
so I think it was last year at finals. I rolled coming down that hill. Had a great run after that though, even with a cracked transmission.
You gotta get back on the horse.
We did. Then earlier this year, I rolled on the other side of the mountain.
Well, so goodness, Matt.
We've really putting the buggy through the work this year.
You're supposed to keep it tire side down.
You really are. It goes much quicker that way.
For anybody just tuning in with us, welcome to Hillside Live. We are 2 drivers in. This is Course 3 of our Super Grip UTV teen class. Maddie Darnell just getting a little recovery assistance here. And then we'll continue on with the rest of our teen class. After that, we'll have our UTV Cup Course 3, and then lots more racing from there from UTV Bounty, both our bouncer classes and our youth class. So thank you to joining us here. Thank you for joining us here on our television audience on Power Sports World, and to our online audience joining us on Rock Racing TV YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we were doing some social stuff this morning, saying, hey, go follow us on YouTube. We'll check it out, and we'll respond to some live comments on there. Again, we got Power Sports World TV as well. Again, we appreciate all of our viewers watching from wherever you're at in the world.
Cody Kaysen, always so quick to help out.
Got a little bit of a dent there in that cage. He stuck his head out. Yeah. Our announcer that talks to the crowd for us and helps us with times and stuff, he has a smart car he was driving around yesterday on the race course, actually, during part of it. They have 3 lug wheels. We're like, is there 3 lugs in there? Me and Brian together were laughing. He's like, yeah, they're just 3 lugs. You don't need 4th.
Wow.
All right, we got Jace Northington sitting down on that race line starting gate. This is our second run in the UTV amateur class.
Jace is second in points for the weekend right now, behind Brantley Havens. But even more importantly, he has to make sure that he beats his sister, Josie.
Yes.
I don't know if that's more important to him or not. I'm sure he'd like to be standing on top of the championship box. Watch out for that porta potty up there, Jace.
That last ledge kind of bucked him up in the air, and it looked like he skidded into the porta potty almost. Yeah,
there's an obstacle you don't expect when you're racing.
It's true. Yeah. That would be that'd be a bad day to run into a porta potty, of course. Yeah. Yeah, beating his sister, I think that sibling rivalry, I think, is so difficult. And I know me and my brother have it. I'm sure you and your brother as well.
Oh, yeah. 80.056. That is our current fastest time here on Course 3. We do have Brantley Havens there on the line.
Mr. Cowboy Hat himself. Again, he started out in our youth class, graduated out, and now is racing in our amateur class.
Yeah, Brantley's also tried his hand at a little bit of bouncer racing.
Yeah.
He's raced in our stock class. This was last season before we had the teen class. Brantley branched out into some of those other opportunities and did a great job with it.
Nice smooth run going here. You can see one of our rescue crews up there at the top of the hill. I know the water truck was out doing some watering this morning as well. I know the obviously the steep uphill sections they were not on, but trying to get the course watered down a little bit for us.
Trying to work on the dusty mountains here.
Yeah. That is a massive rock. Again, you can see how big it is compared to the side-by-side.
Ooh.
That's a 74.174 and your new leader.
Ooh, that was a great run from Brantley. Caden Schaefer on the line now.
Looks like they're making sure we have a course clear, I think.
Looks like we're getting a drone battery changed out and back up in the air. And then we'll be sending Caden Schaefer off the line. Shout out to our Dearborn Drone Co. for providing some awesome drone footage for us. And we didn't have the drone out here yesterday, and I think we were all missing it a little bit. We've gotten a little bit spoiled having that. It definitely enhances the show for sure. So glad to have them out here. They're very talented drone pilots.
Yeah, I was watching some aerial footage of an NFL game, and I was like, this is great, but I was like, I think ours is just as good. You know, like,
heck yeah.
We have some awesome footage.
You got to be good to keep up with these vehicles out here, flying through the dust and rocks.
Rocks, dodging debris.
Here we go with Caden Schaefer.
Like that dark blue and light blue wrap there. Kind of cool paint scheme.
Look good, drive good.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to see all the father-child duos out here, both in our teen class and our youth classes. A lot of them have a dad that's racing in either bouncer or UTV class as well. So it's fun to see that out here. It's coming from somebody who is a father-daughter racing duo or
dynamic racing duo.
Was anyway. Yeah. We're not quite as much these days, but definitely a lot of fun with it.
Getting turned around up there. Again, that is kind of a hairpin turn. We've seen some of our UTVs have a little trouble with it. I know some of our bouncers are going to make a couple hairpin turns up there today, so our rear steer guys are definitely going to be whipping it around. I was talking to Jay about his kind of test and tune here lately. He's been really getting dialed in. There we go. Nice smooth run.
.825 for Caden Schaefer. That means we've got Josie Northington to wrap up course 3 for our Super Grip UTV team class.
She's going to try to unseat her brother. Again, we saw him run a few races ago.
Josie did have a second place finish on course 1. Unfortunately, though, she had a DNF yesterday on course 2. She got in a little bit of a precarious spot at the top of the hill and had needed some recovery assistance. So hopefully we could see her cross the finish line this time.
Yeah, and where she was at, I think that was kind of a safe bet. You know, she was teetering at the very, very top of the hill. I think that was a very wise choice just to go ahead and get picked off there. Getting that nice drone shot of the top of the hill there.
There we go.
Can you see how long and steep those hills are, uphill and downhill? Again, we're going to see some guys in our bouncer class and our UTV Cup really kind of push that hard on that downhill section, trying to make up some time.
And as always, remember that hills on camera are steeper than they appear.
Yes.
The ruts are deeper. The ledges are taller.
Yeah.
The dust is thicker. The hills are steeper. Everything's just more than it looks on your screen.
That's an 86.243 for Josie Northington. Yeah, this is Dylan Dowler in the starting line. Now, we did run the third course for the stock class yesterday. However, he had actually broke when he had finished the starting line. He said you guys couldn't see it, but his brakes were rolling through, and he tore some stuff up. So he said, I'm not going to be able to make my third pass. And Clyde said, you know what, since we're going to try to squeeze him in, we'll go ahead and let you run your third pass tomorrow morning before we kick off the Cup class. Again, he does a ton of racing with us, racing in the stock class and the Cup class.
The fastest time on course 3 in the stock class yesterday was Cody Kaysen with a 73. So that is what Dylan's going to be looking to beat right now. Oh, that was rough.
Yeah, some of these stock rigs don't have necessarily the tire size or the suspension travel that normal ones do. That was a 76.115 from Mr. Dylan Dowler.
Not bad. I think that probably ends up being a third place time on course 3 for our stock class. Again, like Matt mentioned, all the rest of our stock class ran course 3 yesterday. Dylan was able to run today, though, as he had some breakages to work on, and we had originally scheduled it to be today anyway, so we let him go ahead and do that today. I want to go back real quick and give you guys a top 5 from our teen class course 3. Brantley Havens had the fastest time with a 74, and then Jace Northington with an 80, Josie Northington with an 86, Caden Schaefer with an 89, and Sadie Ellison with a 96. That was our course 3 for our teen class.
Heck yeah. Again, I love watching the teen class. They do such a good job. And, again, like I said, I would, as a spectator, just be like, oh, this is part of the stock class. Again, the fact that some of these people are 13, 14, 15 years old. All right, these are our stock 5. Again, Bree had just talked about that after we watched Dylan Dowler's run there. As of now, Cody Kaysen sitting in first, Coy Chappell sitting in second, Dylan Dowler sitting in third. Brandon Davis sitting in fourth, and Robert Trainer sitting in fifth, and that was for, I believe, the third course.
Yes.
Looking at those 70-second times there, I would say that's just for the third course. Again, I know we have a lot of classes racing this weekend. We have lots of points, so we have between the courses, the classes, and the points. I know we have a lot going on, but
a lot to keep up with.
We'll try to keep you guys.
We'll try to keep it organized for you guys.
Try to keep you guys straight. So.
All right, while we get our RCB Axle UTV Cup class lined up for round 3, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back to send them.
There's only one tire brand that can call itself legendary. Rebirthed from the depths of Baja and representing decades of racing heritage, Mickey Thompson Tires announces a new American mud terrain legend. This dominating tire is purpose-built for thrill seekers everywhere. The new Baja Legend MTZ. It's time to get what you really want in a tire. Silica reinforced T4 tread compound for enhanced wet performance. Powerply 3-ply construction for sidewall protection and responsive handling. Improved 4-pitch side biters for bold looks and off-road grip. Proven MTZ tread styling for undisputed traction. 35 different sizes, and one is just waiting for your rig. Gear up and roll with the American mud terrain legend, the Baja Legend MTZ. What you want? No matter where your ride takes you. Whether it's a quick trip or a slow climb. When you choose RCV Performance Axles, you're guaranteed to finish every time.
All right, we are back here at Wildcat Off-Road Park for the last and final race of the National Rock Racing Association. We are getting ready to kick off course number 3 for our Unlimited Cup. Again, these are unlimited bouncers, any motor, any tires. No.
UTV Cup.
I'm sorry, UTV Cup. So, UTV Cup. Sorry, I said bouncers.
Matt's pretty
yes.
excited for the bouncers.
I
If
am.
you can't tell, he's ready to go.
I am
Just
so
a
geeked.
little bit longer, Matt, and then we'll get to the bouncers.
I just looked over and saw you shaking your head like, no, that's not. No.
We're going into round 3 for our UTV Cup class, so let's take a look at how points are standing right now. Things really didn't change in our top 10, except that we had Matt Myrick and Casey Howell swaps position. So Clay Cason's still in the lead, followed by Cooper Bentley, then Dylan Dowler, Dustin Medley, and now Matt and Myrick. Those are your top 5 coming into today.
Casey Howe is sitting at 6th place. Again, Ethan Hunt, Clay Cason racing for Ethan Hunt.
But that's Wade Good racing
Okay.
for Ethan.
Okay. And then Braden Upchurch at 8th, Jesse Phillips at 9th, and Madison King, part of that King family, coming in 10th.
All right, so that's how things are sitting coming into today right now. Again, our top 10 didn't change except for Matt Myrick and Casey Howell swapping spots there after yesterday's racing action.
Yeah.
And we've got Alex Van Hart on the line ready to kick things off for us today.
And it looks like he opted for no spare tire today. Again, yesterday he was racing with spare tire on, which, again, we talked a little about, like some of the U4 cars will race that. Ultra 4 cars will have the tire on the back. First of all, for weight distribution, for shock tuning, but it also is kind of nice if you do roll over. That way it helps with rollovers, which is always nice. Yeah, now this is a little bit bigger chassis. Again, I like the bigger wheels on there. Kind of helps roll over.
Wow.
Something broke right off the starting line. All right, Clyde said that something's rattling. Is that maybe a drive shaft? That stinks. Again, with the UTVs, they're a rear mount vehicle engine. So since the engine's mounted in the rear, they have a drive shaft that comes off usually through the center of the chassis up to the front differential. So when the drive shaft lets go, you can hear it banging around very vividly in the in the cab.
We got Nick Reich taking a look at it here.
And speaking of Nick Reich.
Speaking of Nick Reich, today is Featured Driver Friday, like Matt and I always do on our Friday race days. And today we are representing Nick Reich and the Fordzilla racing team. There you can see us there.
Yeah. Again, we love our Featured Driver Fridays. Like Bree came up with that idea a few years ago, and we have so many drivers who have awesome merch. We thought, hey, this is a great way to showcase it, and again, we love it. And again, Nick got these kind of cool dry fit shirts with the sponsors on the back, and we appreciate on a hot day having a nice dry fit shirt. We have some cool drivers who have started doing like some cool prints and different stuff on them, and it's very, very cool to see the different liveries and all the different wraps that drivers do and the graphic packages they put on. So we always love doing that, and that's a very great way to showcase the driver. Nick, being the guy leading the entire season right now.
Yep. In the bouncer class.
So very, very impressive.
So
again.
He is our featured driver for this Friday of racing. Our last featured driver Friday for the year.
Let's even think about that. Yeah, last one of the year. So again, when Nick's leading the whole entire season in the bouncer class, unlimited.
But right now we've got Matt Myrick out on the course. I mentioned that Matt is now in 5th place coming into today's race. He swapped with Casey Howell. Casey pushed down to 6th now. Casey did elect to save the buggy for Bounty class yesterday, so that was where that points swap happened.
Yeah, you want to keep the car together as much as possible.
Matt, unfortunately, did have a DNF on course 1 yesterday, too, but was able to come back and get a 3rd place time on course 2.
Woo! Carrying those front wheels up in there.
Oh.
Again, you can see some of those ledges kind of got kicking the front end up there. Definitely carrying the front wheels as he was coming up that first hill. But with the access roads, you can see several long access roads. We've watched our amateur class race this weekend going across there. That's mainly so we can get recovery crews in there as well as rescue crews. Again, Matt's racing down what I'm right now. We'll see what that time's going to be. That's an 82.284 for Matt Myrick.
Nicely done. Setting the bar for the rest of the class.
Yeah. Again, we had some just quick times all day yesterday. All right, we got Wade Good running for Ethan Hunt. Again, we've seen Wade do a thing or two in a UTV before. I think Wade, if he was racing like a dump truck, he would be fast. We could put him out there in a fork truck. I think he'd do just fine,
Yeah, Wade started out racing with us in the UTV class before going on to the bouncer class.
Wow.
There's a nice shot. He is 7th in points coming into today's race for the Cup class right now with 623.
Again, you can see how many different versions, all the flags on the hill as Wade's climbing up. You can see how many different versions of that hill that we can go up and down, which we're going to kind of, Clyde does a great job of helping us utilize most of that Mickey Thompson Mountain on the weekend.
Yeah, we are making use out of every square inch
Really?
here at Wildcat this weekend.
He was flying.
$69.427 for Wade Good. That is going to be tough to beat.
Breaking into the 60s. That's incredible.
We've still got a lot of racing to go here, though, in our Cup class, and I see Clay Kaysen on the line. Clay is our current points leader in the Cup class. He's got an 11-point lead over Cooper Bentley right now. After yesterday's racing, this is how things stand coming into today. We'll see if Clay can hang on to that lead. Actually, our top three all managed to widen their lead just a little bit, from 9 to 11 points, from 27 to 33 points, from 84 to 90 points. So the distance between got just a little more after yesterday in our top three.
I like that you said he widened it to 11 points, which again is still such a minor amount for point totals for the season. At the end of the season, we're going to have like 1,100 points possible. So he widened his spread to 11.
Hey, every point counts, Matt.
It is.
Getting down to the wire here.
It really is.
We're on day 2 of 3 here at finals, so you got to start making these runs count.
Yeah, so coming into course 3, they're only going to have 100 points left for the season, so every point counts. Again, Clay has done a great job in this 401K buggy, pushing hard all season. Just been very competitive and definitely at the top. Nice job. Again, you want to carry the front end of that and carry the momentum up, but at the same time, you don't want to send it too hard, kind of launch out there like we saw yesterday.
We did see some launches yesterday. I think Clay's is a pretty smart driver, though. He didn't get to leading in points for the season right now without that. So,
yeah, again, being able to articulate and carefully go up to it, carry some momentum, but not too much. Just a nice soft landing, and ripping it all the way to the finish line.
Nice. Let's check that time.
That's a 74.321. Again, good enough to lock in a second-place time, but there's a handful of drivers that are still going to try to knock that down a little bit.
Whew, that's it's going to be tough to catch up to that time that Wade put down. 5 seconds faster than Clay, and Clay just had a really fast run.
He did, and it looked not just fast, but also looked really smooth too. And Wade was still 5 seconds faster. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, I love seeing all the drivers as well as all the rigs sitting back there. Again, they're all kind of huddled up, paying attention, watching times, checking stuff out. So very, very cool to see all back there. And again, this is one of the things I like the most: being in the pits, watching, talking, laughing, goofing around, and just really having that camaraderie with your fellow racers. So very cool to see.
That is definitely part of what makes a race day so fun. Obviously, there's the competition aspect of it. You want to build your buggy, put it to the test, go fast, end up on top of the box. But also at the end of the day, it's the people that are doing it with you that make this sport special. Martin Stewart taking off the line now. Martin had a 5th place finish on course 2 yesterday. See how he handles this one. Once again, if you're just tuning in with us, welcome to the show. You're watching Hillside Live with Matt and Bree. This is day 2 of 3 for finals here at Wildcat Off-Road Park. We are about a third of the way through course 3 for our RCV Axle UTV Cup class.
Gonna let it launch up and fall down again. Martin doing a great job. He's raced with the UTVs with us for a while. Very competitive driver.
Yeah, he was even competitively driving a little 200 around the campground last night with Cody Case and
I saw him.
Co-dogging.
They were wedged in that thing.
I had their knees up to their chin. I don't know how they fit in there.
You can see Martin throwing some dirt there, or drone. Yeah, it was cute to watch him come riding by. I said, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "We're having fun." Just drove on by.
Their heads are like sticking out the top, like Bowser and Mario Kart.
Yeah, for real. See what that time's going to be.
85.835 for Martin Stewart.
Again, this is such a long course for these guys. Good news is you get, in 90 seconds, you get a lot of racing in. All right, we got Jesse Phillips sitting down that race line starting gate. Again, Justin Holback down there helping us out, running our starting gate. Sounds like clock is hot. Here we go. I'll say Jesse's been very competitive this season as well, getting out there and hammering down this buggy.
Yeah, this is his first year racing. He's usually been the mechanic working on the buggies before and decided to be the driver instead this season. I think it's working out pretty well for him.
Yeah.
Well, a fun fact about Jesse that a lot of people might not know is that he used to be a golfer. We got a handful of drivers. There must be some kind of link between, I don't know, maybe you start out golfing and decide you need something with a little more of an adrenaline kick in it, and you get into racing instead. Here we go. Is this his mulligan on the hill?
Oh, there we go. Again, like I said, you want to kind of bring that front end up, but you don't want to shoot it so high that it slams down and tears something up, especially UTV with a front dip or a drive shaft.
There it is.
Perfect.
if you haven't done if you didn't pre-run on the course, it can be kind of hard to figure out how to handle those ledges because, like you were saying, it's a balance between having the speed and momentum to land on the top, but not, shoot up into the air. And, tires that are in the air aren't getting you moving forward. And I'm sure nobody wants to have any more full launch pirouettes like we saw yesterday either. Yeah, again,
having that kind of finesse of knowing, how hard to push through there. Those top 5 drivers, top 3 drivers can definitely do that in a perfect manner.
He missed his turn. Come on down, one more level.
Again, there's so many ups and downs. This is not hard to do.
Not hard to get lost, you mean.
It is not. That's a 153.914 for Jesse Phillips. Yeah, getting lost is not hard to do because you have so many uphill. And these guys are running course after course, day after day. You have so much you have to remember. Turn right to these flags. No, wait, was that the RCV flag? So again, looking at your landmarks as you're bouncing down a hill is sometimes much harder than it might seem.
And not only the course, but you're also trying to remember the line that you picked out when you were walking or pre-running, like what was the rock that I was going to put my left tire on, or, I needed to stay to the right of.
Yeah. And by that time, you're already past both of those rocks, so, try to keep track of that. Plus, have a great plan. Mike Tyson beautifully said once, everybody has a plan until they get hit in the face.
Yeah.
So getting bounced around that buggy definitely can negate that plan very quickly.
Looks like we've got Cooper Bentley on the line now.
Yeah, Cooper Bentley broke some stuff yesterday, and we saw him it looks like it popped out of gear and weren't sure exactly what happened. And then right as he crossed the finish line, it looked like locked up. Turns out he broke the turbo completely off of the motor, broke the transmission, a diff, and some axles. He pulled into the shop. Yeah, they actually loaded it on Wade's trailer, took it to Wade's shop, and tore it apart at 8 o'clock last night. Ripped all the bolts out of the motor mounts, so they ended up just ratchet strapping that down, put everything back together. So it has a whole bunch of baling wire and bubble gum keeping this thing together today. But they were able to finish that by 11 o'clock last night. He was pulling back out in 3 hours. They were able to knock it down. And it's just, again, him, Kenneth Cozy, and a handful of guys smashing to get that thing done. And very, very impressive to see them thrash that hard to get it done.
That is impressive.
So, definitely a lot of work going on.
Well, again, with only being 11 points behind Clay right now for the championship overall, no wonder he's doing anything he's got to do to keep this buggy in running order.
Again, with that ratchet strap holding that motor in place because he ripped those bolts out.
I don't think Cooper's babying anything now, though. I think he's just hoping those ratchet straps hold the way that they're supposed to.
Yeah, so he's going to want to push hard, but not hard enough to where he breaks something, because I think he's... Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I would say there's an issue with his turbo at this point. Again, I know that he had disconnected the turbo yesterday, so... See the drone coming in.
There's Cody Kaysen telling him to go for it.
Good buddy and competitor Cody Kaysen there. Oh, man. They're saying the ratchet strap just fell at the back of the car. Again, Cody and Clay Kaysen both, again, checking the rig out. Both those, the Kaysen brothers, both are racing stock and UTV Cup, which is the exact class that Cooper is racing. So, again, to have your competitors come out and help you at least identify the problem, maybe you can't get it fixed, but...
We talk a lot about the camaraderie in the sport, Matt, and that's what makes it special. Well, that's Clay Kaysen right there on the left side, trying to figure out what's wrong and help Cooper out, his competitor. These guys are fighting for the top spot for the season right now, and Clay is out there trying to help Cooper. He wants him to finish this hill because, you know, not only are these guys super competitive, but they want each other. They want to beat each other at their best.
Yes.
And at the end of the night, they're all still buddies and they're still hanging out. They're helping. They're helping in any way that they can too. So we talk about it a lot, but there's a perfect example of why Matt and I say, you know, that's really what sets this sport apart from so many others.
And they can come out and check out the buggy, obviously look for safety stuff and make sure they see what's wrong with it. They can't actually physically help him, and if they do, that means it negates or, you know, that gives them a DNF, did not finish. So, you know, they can point out what's wrong or see, you know, let them know, hey, this is what I see. And again, sometimes when you're strapped in that buggy, you can't really see anything on the outside, so having that extra set of eyes helps. So, you know, letting them know what's going on is really nice, but unfortunately it's just, you know, may not be in the cards for Cooper. Again, being 11 seconds out of the championship. Again, I would love to see him make this course and complete it, but I don't know if that buggy, you know, not being connected to the turbo, I don't think you're going to have that power. Man, that stinks.
We do have a time limit out here. It's usually about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're doing anything different this weekend. So it's 5 minute time limit.
Yeah.
Drivers are allowed to do, you know, whatever they can within that time limit without outside assistance.
Man. That stinks. Again, you get if I was working on a side by side, if there was 2 guys I would pick to help work on my UTV, it'd be these 2 guys here. The Kaysen brothers do a lot of work on both of their. One has a stock rep, one has the cup class. Both of them do tons of work on their own side by side. Because I was teasing their dad, I said, "Man, but that expensive." He said, "No, they work on their stuff, but."
Cooper's doing a little bit of dust control for us right now there on the course as well. So
Again, I don't think you could have 2 extra set of eyeballs that were better than these 2 guys here. And again, we talk about camaraderie a lot, but again, to see your 2 guys that are considered competitors out there working on the course, it's just incredible. I also like how Clay's wearing his safety vest like a tie. Like, you know, I mean, I think he has his race suit on underneath on his T-shirt there because it looks like he has his race pants on. But man,
unfortunately, that is time limit for Cooper Bentley.
Man.
He got 10 points for his attempt at the course. Unfortunately, was not able to get that buggy going up the hill.
Dang it. Yeah, dang it. You can see the ratchet
That
strap.
ratchet's not ratcheting anymore.
It is not. Again, that's never a good thing. But they literally thrashed last night to get this thing put back together. So you hate to see him not be able to get there and get points. But at least he was able to drive it today. And hopefully they can get some stuff fixed and maybe keep it together for course number 4. Yeah, it's a tough break for Cooper. Again, just to battle it that hard all season. I mean, just, stinks.
This is Dustin Medley on the course now. Dustin still sitting fourth in points overall with 768 after yesterday, with a pretty solid 57-point lead over fifth place. He is 90 points behind third place, though, so he's got his work cut out for him with the rest of the racing this weekend.
Again, he kind of just lands and powers it up the rest of the way.
He's got the power to do it.
Yeah, this thing is just an absolute monster. Again, this is the 22R, or the Pro R motor. So it's a 4-cylinder, and I mean, they have it dialed up. We've seen him play with some different horsepower ratios this year. You want lots of power, but you also want it to be drivable and controllable. So I know they've done a lot. And then you can see them using that rear steer. Our only UTV out here running rear steer, whipping around that corner, which, does help a little bit on some of those tight turns.
Whoa, oh! So he missed a turn. He needs to come back down one more level.
I think he realized that about halfway through. He's like, wait, no, whoa.
So our rule for that is, as long as you haven't crossed the finish line yet, you can go back to the correct part of the course and fix whatever your mistake is before you come through the finish line. So that's why he made sure to turn around and go back the right way. With a 106.120 for Dustin Medley. Looks like we've got Madison King on the line now.
Yeah, so what we're hearing is some radio traffic. They were making sure he actually came down when he had came back to make the correct turn. I think he actually went down in the wrong spot. Now, sometimes if you're going too far, they'll let you slide. If you're going like way around a turn that's too far out, they'll let that be okay, because obviously that adds time to the course. Again, this is Madison King launching out of that race line starting gate. Again, Madison also does our bounty racing with us as well. See her from time to time hopping in there. Her brother Nathan King and his Rebel flag buggy with the sweet horns. We were teasing him earlier. I said, when did you hear the horns back? He said, a lady came up and gave me money to buy new horns for
the General Lee, yeah.
For the,
very classic.
For the UTV.
Madison, unfortunately, had a little rollover on course 1 yesterday. She did get a finish on course 2. See how today shakes out for her.
Again, these are super steep. These last little dirt hills, the last 3 or 4 feet is like straight up and down, so you have to carry momentum in. You just can't carry too much momentum.
Uh-oh.
I feel like we're watching Wade or DC or somebody out there rocking.
Well, we definitely saw DC out here.
No!
Oh!
There we go, back on the wheels.
All right, let's try that again, Madison. Way to stick the landing.
Yeah, and she was definitely trying to be super smooth, because yesterday she launched it out the top, so.
There it is.
Again, Again, you can see her kind of working back and forth to get up those ledges. There we go.
Nice run with a little extra entertainment in the middle there.
That's a 142.151 from Miss Madison King.
Looks like we've got Alston Tidwell on the line now.
All right, clock is hot. He is flying. Again, being able to push down this downhill section is really where we can make up some time. There we go. Nice, smooth run.
Speaking of time, the time to beat right now on course 3 still is the 69.4 from Wade Good, which is not going to be easy.
No. Again, you see a lot of drivers coming up that first big rocky ledge after those two big dirt hills. You can see them kind of coming in the far left side and kind of slowly working over to the right. That's because there's a big, huge ledge at the bottom of the right side. So they'll kind of come in the left, kind of work it over, kind of glide it over. See what that time is.
99.894 for Alston Tidwell. So our top 3 on course 3 right now is Wade Good with that 69.4, Clay Kaysen with a 74.3, and then Matt Myrick with a 82.2. About halfway through course 3 for our UTV Cup class right now. After this, we're going to be running course 1 for our UTV Bounty class. Here we go with David Darnell.
We saw Maddie Darnell race a little bit earlier, David's daughter. Oh, man. There we go. Nice smooth work by David Darnell.
You can see how it's throwing everybody over to the right side.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I think
Back it up, Terry. Come down one more level.
We've had, I think, 3 or 4 guys now watch the guy in front of them be like, oh, wait, that turn there. No, wait, no. And again, in these guys' defense, they are running so many courses this weekend, it does get a little hairy after a while.
There you go.
Here we go.
$129.794 for David Darnell. Looks like Dylan Dowler on the line. I see some neon orange. Unmistakable.
It really is. It's a very iconic color.
Dylan is third in points right now coming into today's race. 33 points behind Cooper Bentley. Dylan actually would have had about a third place finish yesterday on course 2, I believe, except that he had an unfortunate flag penalty that set him behind. Here's our current top 5 on course 3. That's Wade Good running for Ethan Hunt in the lead right now, followed by Clay Kaysen, Matt Myrick, Martin Stewart, and Alston Tidwell. See if Dylan Dowler can shake that top 5 up a little bit.
Dylan's been powering these iconic orange buggies all season. Doing a great job being very competitive. Earlier this season, he actually won stock class and cup class both in the same weekend. So took him 2 first-place trophies. Very cool to see.
Uh-oh. Oh. Looks like this front. Quit pulling.
Dang it. And again, he's so close. If he can just get to the top of the hill, I think he can get a finish out of this.
Come on, Dylan.
There we go.
Nice.
There we go.
All right, Matt, you know it's time for me to say it's all downhill from here.
I was waiting. Oh, man.
Nice. Way to stick with it, Dylan.
That's a 128.344. Again, not the time Dylan had hoped for, but just getting a finish was huge after breaking that front end. So.
Braden Upchurch is on the line, and I believe he's going to wrap up course 3 for the Cup class.
Braden with his sweet Rock Life off-road wrap on there. He has a nice smooth run going here. I see Brian Dunnigan and Bub Meadows out there with Addictive Photography. Right there, trying to get some cool video and pictures.
Looks
Brian
like
Dunnigan
Brian
walking
Dunnigan
over, yeah.
taking a look, telling Braden to get on up the hill.
There we go. Again, Braden might have felt like it wasn't pulling or something, so. Dang it.
Is he turtled? I'm not sure what's going on with Braden right now.
Hey, you can't park there. Sorry, Keith. He's not spinning the tires. I think it's knocked out of gear or something.
Dang it. When you see the helmet come off, you know the things are. I'm not sure what he broke there.
Keith is being deployed. Help is on the way, dear.
I think he missed out fire. Help is on the way. He's like running over.
All right, well, since that wraps up course 3, let's go ahead and take a look at our top 10 from the course. Wade Good hung on to the lead with that 69.4, followed by Clay Kaysen with the 74, Matt Myrick with an 82, Martin Stewart with an 85, and then Alston Tidwell rounding out top 5 with a 99.
Coming in 6th is David Darnell. Coming in 7th, Dylan Dowler. Coming in 7th was David Darnell. Coming in 8th was Madison King. Coming in 9th was Jesse Phillips. And 10th was Alex Van Hunt. Again, that was rounding out your UTV Cup class, the Unlimited UTV.
Here's a little picture of what Wade Good was up to before his winning run on course 3, trying to get the buggy back together. I'm not sure exactly what he was working on there, but this is what was going on in the pits. A little behind-the-scene photo for you. And Luckily, it worked out well for Wade, and he was able to put down that fastest time.
Yeah, they said he pulled the line. He was like the first guy taking off the starting line. He had pulled the starting line, and then they said he broke something on the starting line, so they pulled it back off, and luckily got it going again. All right, while we get this recovery done and switch over classes, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after these messages.
No matter where your ride takes you. Whether it's a quick trip or a slow climb. When you choose RCV Performance Axles, you're guaranteed to finish every time.
Rebirthed from the depths of Baja, Mickey Thompson Tires announces a new American mud terrain legend. The new Baja Legend MTZ. Silica-reinforced T4 tread compound. Power-ply 3-ply construction. Improved 4-pitch side biters. Proven MTZ tread styling for undisputed traction. 35 different sizes, and one is just waiting for your rig. The Baja Legend MTZ.
What is up, everybody? We're back here. We're getting ready to kick off UTV Bounty, which means rock bouncers are next. We have about we had a pretty good handful of UTV guys. I know a lot of our UTV guys wait until they see if the Cup class how it does to race the Bounty series, just because they might be broken. We've already seen several guys break just today alone, not much including yesterday's carnage. So UTV Bounty sometimes changes from day to day, especially on weekends like we're racing multiple days and multiple classes. So Bounty should be a very good time this weekend. And then again, that means we'll be kicking off rock bouncers right after this. All right, this is our Bounty points coming in today. Again, this is going to be their first course. So Casey Howe sitting in first place with 695. Nathaniel Bell right behind him at 666. Austin Tinwell at 453. Madison King at 272. Ethan Hunt at 222, which again, he has a stunt driver racing for him, I'm sure.
And then we've got Bruce Parker in that 6th place spot, Clay Kaysen in 7th, Riley Pete in 8th, Cody Kaysen in 9th, and Nathaniel Helton in 10th. So that is how things are standing for the UTV Bounty class coming into today. Like Matt said, this is their first course, which seems kind of weird that we're on course 1 for anybody after all the racing that we've already done yesterday and today.
Yeah, after literally, I feel like we've been racing for about 40 hours already this weekend.
So Casey Howell is leading in points for the Bounty class, and he made a strategic decision yesterday to forego running the Cup class and save the buggy for Bounty today. So hopefully that works out for him.
We see that a lot of guys wanting to save the car. So that's pretty common in this class, just because it is such a gnarly class. This is also the same course that the Bounce will be racing, so if you're racing bouncers, they want to pay extra close attention to this.
Yeah, we always have to note for our bounty class, if you're new to the sport, new to the series, and you're wondering what makes this the bounty class, it is, like Matt said, they run the same course as the bouncers. So this is our most challenging UTV option. This is for the guys that really want to test their skills and test their vehicle and put them on the same course as the big bouncers. There's a little shot of Nick Reich hanging out on the hill there. Points leader for our bouncer class and today's featured driver.
Just out there hanging out, having a good time.
You never know where you might get spotted.
You really don't.
Out here. It's like the kiss cam at the ball games.
It is.
We won't make you kiss anybody, Nick. Don't worry.
All right, we got Brady McReith kicking it off for us.
It looks like Brady is in two-wheel drive. Front end doesn't seem to be pulling right now for him, which is not what you want.
Not good.
On this hill.
Man, he's trying. I think if he can get through here, he can finish the rest of the course. Again, this is just the first course of 4 this weekend, so
no.
They will be getting harder as the weekend progresses. Again, those 3rd and 4th courses usually on our last weekend.
I don't think Brady wants that reminder right now. Looks like he is calling it quits. He did everything he could with that hill, though, and like Matt said, this is just course 1 for the bounty class, so a lot still to come for these guys. All right, we've got Alston Tidwell on the line now. If you guys are just tuning in with us, welcome to the show here on Hillside Live. This is our second driver for course 1 of our UTV Bounty class. We already completed course 3 for our UTV Cup class and for our UTV Team class. Bouncers will be up next. And then we have our youth class this afternoon as well.
It's always awesome to see guys who are racing Cup also race Bounty, just because that's a lot of course to keep memorized.
A lot of buggy to hold together, too.
It really is, especially this weekend. Again, you got to make kind of a hairpin turn. You're going downhill, you got to turn and go back uphill.
Ooh, all right. We're getting into a new part of the hillside that we haven't been racing on so far yet this weekend. We told you guys we're going to use every inch of the Mickey Thompson Mountain out here.
Again, kind of that hairpin turn. Coming down a hill, having to turn and go right back up the hill is so very hard on these machines, as well as you want to go fast, but at the same time you also don't want to, I think, okay, there he goes. I don't know if that's right. Yeah. I think you're supposed to go through the woods. Come down right before those SCS banners and go through the woods there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alston did miss that last little leg of the course there was not correct, so that is going to be a DNF.
Yeah, I was looking at the map, and it looks like you're supposed to go down before, kind of like through that woods like we've done in the past. Go through that woods section and then curl back around.
You're going to be going through the finish line from left to right, it looks like it's supposed to be. Man, we hate to see that.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm glad to see you've been studying your course maps, though.
We went out and walked it. We went out and walked it pretty good last night, and just tried to
get it in your head. I hope Madison King's been studying up on her course map and doing some walking and some pre-running too. Madison is coming into the weekend 4th in points in the Bounty class.
Again, you watch, you kind of let that front end drop slowly and then give it the gas as the rear end starts to follow. Again, kind of making that turn, head right back up the hill that you just came down. We're utilizing all of this Mickey Thompson Mountain this weekend. Again, those spider steps, she's bouncing down, bouncing up. Madison's already done a ton of racing with us this weekend in our Cup class.
Oh, I see tires in the air. That's not a good sign. This is Madison's second rollover.
Yeah, I know. Plus
so
hard.
far. We've got the thumbs up. She's good.
She's good. I heard the radio. She said she's good.
Probably not happy, but
Yeah.
she's okay. Well, so far we are 0 for 3 on Bounty Course number 1. We've got 3 DNFs
And
about 4 drivers, 3 or 4 drivers left. I think we probably just got 3.
And they broke in places where I didn't think I would see them broken at.
Well, we had 1 get lost on course. We had 1 rollover, and we had 1 breakage. So, a little bit of everything so far.
A little bit of a mixed bag there. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in with us, no matter where you're watching from out there in the world. Again, I know we have quite a bit of spectators here. I'm sure tomorrow will be packed out house. Getting Madison flip back over there. Getting Keith pulling in there to give a little support to recovery.
Well, it is a beautiful day here at Wildcat Off-Road Park. We are in East Bernstadt, Kentucky this weekend for finals. Got a lot of racing still to do today, even more left for tomorrow. Hope you guys are going to be able to join us here on Hillside Live for most of that racing action.
Here's our
Speaking of
action shot. Again, you can see it kind of going up that dust and just barely clipped that bush there with a little bit of dirt and tipped her over. And I was hearing on the radio, they said that her front axle might not have been pulling, so she might have broke, which, again, if you had a broken axle, it might, say on the right side or left side, it might kick you to the right or left, which kind of aids in that pullover.
All right. Well, since we have had some confusion on the course today, we've got a course map we're going to go ahead and throw up here just to give you viewers at home an idea. This is what our drivers all get sent out to them a couple days before the race. They can study the course maps, and then, of course, they've got the opportunity to walk the course and then often pre-run as well the morning or day before the race. So this is what those course maps look like. You can see that it is a lot to keep track of. We've got our sponsored flags marked there, so that is the visual cue for the drivers that they look for going around the track. But it is a lot to keep up with. But we make sure that they have these ahead of time so they can start studying up before they get here and then, of course, walk the track or pre-run it as well. All right, we've got another AMSOIL action shot to share with you.
This is from earlier today.
Oh, this is Maddie Darnell.
Yeah.
Oh, no, never mind. That was just a little teaser for
Yeah,
you.
they were teasing you. They were going to show Madison again.
It's the other pink buggy.
It's the other pink buggy. Maddie would appreciate that. It's the other pink buggy.
So this is from course 3 for our Cup class just a little while ago. Madison kind of teetering at the top. And then she came back, did a nice back handspring, stuck the landing, and was able to keep on going.
It's like just a quick little tumble.
So yesterday's rollover, today's backflip, and then another rollover. Madison is just, she's freestyling out here.
She is.
I like it.
If she was racing monster trucks, it'd be very impressive.
Oh, that'd be a perfect opportunity for that. There she is driving off the course now. Hopefully nothing broke at all, and she'll be back for the rest of the racing for Bounty. Because remember, this is only course 1 for the Bounty class, even though we've already completed course 3 in Stock and Cup and Teen.
Yeah.
This is just course 1 for our Bounty class right now. We do have our points leader, Casey Howell, on the line now. Casey with a pretty solid 29-point lead ahead of Nathaniel Bell coming into this weekend.
Casey has done an awesome job of just battling all season. He has had this big black machine out just bashing on it all year.
Casey even elected to forego racing in the Cup class yesterday to save the vehicle for today's Bounty racing, since he is leading in points. That's kind of a strategic decision for him.
Yeah, and after I've seen how many breakage we've had in the Cup, I think that was probably a very wise choice. Again, taking his time but making quick work of these spider step-ups here. Again, you can see that brewery end just kind of hang in the air as they start to drive downhill on that second one. Again, being able to make those hairpin turns, transition from going down to going back up, is super important here.
Currently, there is no time to beat for Casey. He's it's just Casey in the clock right now. 3 DNFs on the board so far for course 1 here.
Again, coming down around that big rock. There we go.
Nicely
all right.
done.
That's a 110.693 for Casey Howe, our first UTV Bounty to finish.
But I do see Nathaniel Bell on the line now. Nathaniel is second in points right now behind Casey. He's gonna be looking to beat that 110 time that Casey just put down and close the 29-point gap between them.
And Nathaniel Bell is very fast in this TC machine. I mean, he has done very well. Won a championship in it even. So
last season. He's coming off of a win from our last event at Rush Springs Ranch in Missouri a few weeks ago.
Again, Nathaniel comes down a lot during the night before and does a lot of pre-running. You'll see him out here playing on the hills. Sometimes he'll be just rolling, like the steeper stuff, he'll kind of roll into it 3 or 4 times just to kind of get a good feel of how fast he needs to hit it on race day.
That might have cost him just a little bit of time. See if he can make it up anywhere.
You can tell he's just ripping across that top ledge. Man, that is rough. Again, it shows how tough some of these UTVs are, just absolutely taking a beating.
UTVs and drivers.
Yeah. There we go.
With a 114.638.
Wow. Again, right there with that 110 from Casey Howe.
Yep, not enough to edge out Casey, but definitely a great run from Nathaniel. So Casey with a 110 and Nathaniel with a 114. Those were our only two finishers for UTV Bounty Course 1, and that does wrap up that first course for the class today. Matt,
yeah.
I hear some horsepower.
Yes.
Here's some bouncers starting up and ready to go.
Yeah, you can always tell when the bouncers start getting fired up. Everybody starts kind of getting to the edge of their seat, kind of get a little more intense. Again, you can feel the anticipation in the air. Cooper Bentley pulling to that starting line.
All right, here's a look at our points standings right now. Coming into this weekend, Nick Reich in the lead with 814 points, followed by Wade Good with 803. Cooper Bentley in third with 690. Daniel Heckley in fourth with 671. And then Clint Garrison rounding out fifth place right now with 635.
I'll say Ethan Jones in sixth, Dustin Medley in seventh, Connor Flynn in eighth, Ben Driscoll in ninth, and Ethan Hunt in 10th, which Ethan Hunt obviously had a stunt driver for him. So,
and that is Clay Kaysen in that 10th spot for Ethan there. And we caught up with a couple of our champion drivers right now and want to hear from them before we get rolling. Let's check it out.
I can't believe the amount of work that it's taken to get here, so I feel like a sense of relief that we're here and I made it this far. In my eyes, I feel like I've already won. I've already completed all. I got here. You know, it's not so much about if I win first place or win all the hills. It's just I made it here, and everybody sees and knows that I'm fast and I'm doing good and I'm a contender.
Nothing to lose. Pretty much as long as I finish 2 hills out of the 4, I'm locked into second place. Can't really go down, so we're going for it. The buggy's ready for it. Completely stripped it down. Everything's freshened up, ready to go, and it's all or nothing.
All right, it was good to hear from those guys and get their thoughts coming into this finals weekend. So we went over the points. We've got Cooper Bentley sitting on the line. He is going to be starting off course 1 for the Mickey Thompson Bouncer Cup. So far today, we've completed course 3 for UTV Stock, UTV Cup, and our UTV Teen class. We also finished course 1 for UTV Bounty. So all kinds of racing going on here at Wildcat for finals this weekend. We're making a couple last-minute adjustments to make sure our course is finalized and ready to go for the bouncers.
Getting everything set up on the course, making sure everything's ready to go.
Matt, I know you did your pre-running last night, checking out the hill.
Or pre-walking.
You feel like you're ready to go?
It was more of a brisk walk last night.
Brisk walk.
Yeah, I think just, knowing the course, knowing which way to go is probably the most important thing,
That definitely helps.
It helps. Because I start looking at course 2 and 3, and then Jay was like, I don't look at course anything. I look at course 1, and that's it. One course at a time.
One at a time.
So I think that's
sounds like a decent plan.
I think that's what most drivers are this weekend because we have so much racing going on, so many courses. Guys are just trying to focus on one course at a time, win each course. All right.
Here we go with Cooper Bentley. Third in points coming into the weekend. Wade Good's got a real solid 113-point lead over Cooper, though. Let's see what Cooper can do about it.
Again, you can see how much dust is already getting kicked up there.
you talked about how the rear steer was going to come into play more in our bouncer class.
Yeah.
Obviously, for our UTV classes, only one of them has a rear steer, so we haven't gotten to see too much of it yet.
Yeah, it definitely, watching Cooper there whip around, definitely made a difference. Again, coming across some of these ledges at a little bit of an awkward angle.
You can see how Cooper easing down that turn just a little bit. Like Matt said, you're coming downhill, you're turning as an off-camera turn, and those ruts
Yes.
are really deep.
Yeah. And
They can definitely reach out and grab you.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about those ruts. Getting a bobble or a bounce could break something. Nothing crazy, but usually a tie rod ball joint. That's a 96.905. Now that we have our first time for the bouncers, that's under 100 seconds. What do you guys think our fast time is going to be today? Again, we've seen some pretty quick times out of the UTVs, so we'll see that's going to take into play. All right, clock is hot. We got Dustin Medley coming to that race line starting gate.
Oh, Dustin Medley coming out hot.
Yeah, this thing is just a monster truck of a machine.
This is probably, the highest horsepower out here? Definitely one of the, if not the
I would say
highest.
he has the most cubic inches, and I would say he's definitely the high horsepower buggy out here. Again, obviously, they all have to be running perfect, but I would say he's the most cubic inches, and I would say the most horsepower of any bouncer here this weekend. I talked to Dustin a little bit after he started racing it, and he goes, I've always wanted more power, more power, more power. This is the first time I'm like, that's enough. That's plenty of power. We don't need any more.
like, no, this is good, actually.
He's like, it almost jumps when you gas it. In first gear, there's so much torque, it almost just leaps.
Dustin is definitely putting that skinny pedal to good use right now.
And this is a long course. I feel like we've cut such a long way from the old days of just kind of hill killing, closing your eyes and shooting it up.
A 20-second, climb straight up a hill.
Yeah, now we're doing 2 or 3 up and downs and turns and jumps and
107.906 for Dustin Medley. Yeah, I like it that we do the longer courses now. I think that it keeps our drivers on their toes, allows us to use a lot of different elements in the course instead of just the hill killing that we started with, And especially it gives you the seat time. A lot of these guys are traveling a long ways to come. It's a big commitment to get to all these races and commit to the full season. So you want to get that seat time while you're here too. So I like that we do the longer courses, and it's fun to watch too.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. And again, like you said, having that long drive there, long drive home, it makes it feel a little bit funner if you do get a minute versus 20 seconds, or in this case, like I said, 100 seconds versus 20 seconds. Also gives you a little time to make up if you do make a mistake. But we got Johnny Gibbs coming out of that race line starting gate.
One of a handful of Jake Pike built buggies in the racing circuit.
Johnny's come out and played with it a few times this year. Always putting on a show for the crowd.
These Jake Pike builds are known for being very lightweight, which is good when you're trying to throw this buggy up a hill like this.
Yeah. Those are two big ledges right there. Oh, wow. Again, if that doesn't show you how steep these are, you know.
Nice handstand.
Buddy. Again, just ripping it all the way up the hill there. There we go. Again, you can see the tape there on the side, kind of let everybody know where to turn at.
Very glad to have Dearborn Drone Code joining us again this weekend, bringing some great drone footage and coverage for the course.
Getting that uphill turn is just such a rough transition there.
Looks like he went ahead and rode the ruts down out all the way to the bottom before turning out of them.
Again, there we go, getting a finish out of it from Mr. Johnny Gibbs. That's a 123.750 from Mr. Jonathan Gibbs. Again, Johnny went with a two-seater because he said he likes to take it out, do some trail riding, have a little fun, get a little ornery with it at nighttime. So
nice to have the option.
Yeah. I like having a two-seater, and I'll probably always have a two-seater because it gives me a place to store my helmet and race suit when I drive down to the race course. My lunchbox, some snacky snacks, priorities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy having a two-seater, just to have a place to put my stuff, my good stuff.
And then occasionally give me a ride somewhere.
Yeah, a little dusty sometimes, but even caught on fire once with us in the vehicle there, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah. Almost forgot about that.
I didn't. That was a rough day. Again, I'll be running almost last in this running order today.
Ben Driscoll, here we go.
Ben has done a ton of pre-running this year and gotten very comfortable in this machine.
Even got himself a Skinny Pedal award from the race at, where were we? Pretty Place.
Yeah, he was very excited because he had the fastest time on that course, but also did a lot of damage to the buggy. Then later finishing in, rear steer drive.
That's right, yeah. Rear steer only and still finish the course at Pretty Place. So, yeah, he's had an eventful season.
He really has. He finished and looked at everybody and said, "Hey, somebody take a picture. I just beat Wade Good." Everybody started busting up laughing. I don't obviously he had torn the buggy up, but he was just so happy that he was, had such a fast time, coming in, having that great success with putting that number one spot up. He was so happy nothing else mattered, I think, at that point.
Yeah, this is Ben's first full season racing with us, I believe. He did maybe like half a season last year and has been able to put in the full season this year.
I'm going to say there's something wrong.
was a 114.114.
Yeah, the end of that
Over
run, it
Driscoll.
sounded very monotone. It didn't sound like he was really, gassing it a bunch there. I'm not sure if something's not 100% there.
Speaking of been beating Wade Good at Pretty Place, that's Wade on the line now. Wade second in points, 11 points behind Nick Reich coming into this weekend. They've been battling it out. They've got 4 courses to figure out who's going to be on top of the box tomorrow night.
Again, everybody has been out here just watching these two guys get out and battle.
The time to beat right now is the 96.9 that Cooper Bentley already laid down.
Wade is absolutely flying through this course right now. I know he is a master at that rear steer, so we'll see if he can't whip that transition around.
We know Wade also excels on the downhill sections.
For real. All right.
He is blasting through this
course.
course.
He is flying through there. There we go. And the guy.
Whoa. Let's check the time.
Nine 90.340,
I think it was. Let's catch that one more time. I want to make sure we announce it correctly for you guys.
530.
90.530.
And again, 6 seconds faster than the run right now. But is that going to stick? I saw, as Wade was running, I saw Nick running the bottom of the course.
I wanted to make sure he saw that.
Again, I think Nick being, just literally like a few points ahead of Wade, trying to study, is there any place he can improve on Wade's run? Because, wow, 90 seconds. I mean, that was a smoking run. I don't know.
There weren't any obvious spots where Wade had any bobbles or left any time, so it's going to make for some interesting racing and some entertainment for us, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really will. Yeah, I don't know. Again, little Tim Bacon here on that starting gate.
Getting too rowdy out here. Speaking of getting rowdy, Tim Bacon is going to be taking home our Skinny Pedal Award from our last race at Rush Springs Ranch for his wild ride. He rolled over down the hill, kept going. It was everything that we expect from Bacon. So he's going to be getting that Skinny Pedal Award from Rush Springs Ranch. So no matter how this weekend goes for him, he's going to at least be taking home one golden trophy.
Yes. And again, we were teasing him. I said, dude, after you rolled, I said, your run was amazing. I said, you just come out and roll over each time, teasing him a little bit. But again, he had a smoking run after that rollover. And his brother said that he may have been a bit mad, and
sometimes that's a little extra motivation.
It is. And I think he had a smoking run after that. So, again, you can hear this big block motor work, almost 600 cubic inch motor. Kind of squeezing through that ledge there. Again, start and use that rear steer, whip around a little bit there. Again, those Bacon family doing 40 spline knuckles and C's, coming out with those, and they've been running. I know a handful of our balancer drivers are running those now. Man!
And, man, after we saw Tim have some rough luck several times through this season, I'm glad to see him laying down this smoking fast time right now.
Yeah.
That was a 1:16.021. His first season racing this too rowdy buggy.
Yeah, and he definitely just showed how too rowdy it is. Again, he's been getting it dialed in, making some adjustments and tweaking some stuff after races.
It definitely takes a little time when you've got a new build. You got to get the kinks worked out, figure out the bugs.
Yeah.
At this point, let's go ahead and take a look at our top 5 right now on course 1. Wade Good is in the lead with that 90.5, followed by Cooper Bentley with a 96, Dustin Medley with a 107, Ben Driscoll with a 114, and now Tim Bacon with that 116. We're about not quite half of the way through course 1 here for the Mickey Thompson Bouncer Cup. And we've got Blake Harity on the line.
Again, Blake Harity, I know, has been racing this thing kind of all over. I saw him on YouTube. I think it was High Octane Films was up near the Havoc series doing some video stuff, and I saw Blake up there with him. I said, talked to him a little bit. I have to get later. Again, he has been racing this thing all over.
Another one of our Jake Pike builds.
Yeah. And these are super steep ledges right there. And they're rocks. They're kind of loose. There's not really a ton of traction. So you can see a couple guys taking that very carefully, especially if you start sliding into these big ledges, these dirt hills right here. And once you get most of the chassis kind of lay into the gas, you're okay.
Well, and for our drivers that chose not to pre-run, just walked the course, this might be their first time getting their tires on these super steep ledges, and a bit of a learning curve for.
And I don't know if he's raced with us here before, so this might be his first time racing this course, where a handful of drivers have raced here, several years in a row.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure if he has been here at Wildcat. I know we've seen him at Rush.
Again, he's swinging a little bit wide. Again, makes it a little safer on that big wide turn. Since you're going from, you're going downhill and you have to turn and go uphill. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen anybody put it on two wheels there.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've seen everybody kind of be.
They've been checking up enough so far.
Being the first course, I think everybody wants to be careful and considerate and not make any silly mistakes right now. All right, there we go. That's a 151.377 for Blake Harity. Again, I know he's been doing a bunch of racing with that buggy all over. All right, we got Ethan Jones sitting in that race line starting gate. Clock is hot.
Fastest time right now on course 1 is 90.5 from Wade Good, followed by 96 from Cooper Bentley. And then it looks like 107 from Dustin Medley. Those are our top 3 right now. Definitely glad that we've got a nice breeze here at Wildcat today. Some beautiful weather, and that breeze helped carry away the dust for us. All right, so we're thinking that Ethan made a wrong turn up at the top. It seems like he realized that and is going back up to fix that mistake now. Come the right way.
He kind of wide at the top, too far right. And I think when he went to turn, he realized, oh, I'm supposed to be coming up there. So he hurried, went back down, come back down, and fixed his mistake.
So as usual, as long as the driver can fix whatever they messed up on the course, wherever they made a wrong turn before they cross the finish line, then that's totally okay, and their run still counts. But if they have already crossed the finish line without running the course correctly, then it is a DNF.
Ethan Jones out on course again, just coming down there, poking out through the woods there. His monster machine. That is one wicked buggy.
See what you did there, Matt. Is he going to have a wicked good time?
Hopefully. Man, roaring through the finish line there.
$149.332 for Ethan Jones. And I see that Chris Grigg was going to be next on our list. Unfortunately, he had some troubles on his way here and is not going to be able to come and race with us today, but plans to be here tomorrow. It's been a little while since we've seen him out here, Chris, with some health issues mid-season, and I know he was working real hard to get the buggy ready to go for finals today, and then had trouble, I think, on his way here with his pull truck. So at any rate, we'll miss having him here with us today, but hopefully he'll be here back in action tomorrow.
Yeah, I seen some spy Snapchats of him testing earlier this week, and I was like, ooh, I see that. So
Oh, look, they found the drone.
That's awesome.
There's a little shot of its ride back down.
He's like, hey, you guys want to see how Mickey Thompson tires work? Watch this. That's so cool. There's a shot of the production trailer and the crowd packing in. Mad Ram 11 out there. Getting one of those on-course porta potties. Listen, you will never, ever, ever make us mad by having lots of porta potties, okay?
Got a great crowd of spectators.
Heck yeah.
Flowing in here at Wildcat. I'm sure we'll have even more tomorrow. Yeah. We got one of the great things about this park is how spectator friendly it is. So they've done a great job making lots of nice flat levels to put the easy ups and get the UTVs parked in here, and there's not a bad seat in the house, and all of it is nice safe distance, but still a great view of the racing action. So we do appreciate that here, and the staff at Wildcat working hard to host us again this weekend.
Got Kenneth Cozine in that race line starting gate.
Kenneth, another one of our drivers, debuting a new rig this season, actually just kind of partway through the season. It's a Sunfire off-road build.
I know Scott and the crew at Sunfire over there do a great job.
We first saw Kenneth racing in Bad Donkey starting back in 2018. He raced that for like 5 years.
Yeah, he did an awesome job with it. He was always very competitive with that buggy.
You guys can follow Kenneth's race program at Crazy Aces Racing on Facebook. He'd like to give a shout out to Sunfire Off-Road, Amsoil, and Ignite Racing Fuel for supporting his race program.
You can use that rear steer there to whip around. You can see these guys are just literally almost straight pinning all the way up this hill. Again, you can see how the buggy is just bouncing through those massive ruts there.
They are large and in charge on the hill this weekend.
They really are.
Nice.
There we go. That's a 114.805 for Mr. Kenneth Cozine.
And we should note that is our second 114.
Wow.
So Ben Driscoll put down a 114.1 and Kenneth Cozine now with a 114.8. I know it happens every time, but it's always it's amazing to me how tight the times are, especially on a course this long. It's crazy.
It really is. It's insane to see our times.
We are halfway through course 1 now of our Mickey Thompson Bouncer Cup. We got Brandon Davis on the line.
Brandon Davis and his new UFO chassis.
Yeah, this is his third time racing it out here with us.
He's raced a couple Ultra 4 races, so kind of got a feel for it. I was teasing him. I said, well, now you've had it have a couple races in, you want differently? And he said, yeah, he goes, I could use a little more power.
Couldn't we all?
All right, Brandon Davis here. Clock is hot. Again, Brandon is used to racing an independent front suspension buggy. Whipping around that corner. Oh, he is hurrying downhill. Definitely making up some time there. Oh, he is getting squirrely with it. Wow. He was flying downhill.
We've been calling Brandon Mr. Consistent.
Yeah.
for years now because of his ability to consistently end up on the podium.
There we go. Nice, smooth job.
.759 for Brandon Davis. Looks like that is a third place time right now. We've got Wade Good still in the lead with that 90, followed by Cooper Bentley with the 96. You know, we're halfway through. Let's go ahead and take a look at our top 10 right now for course 1. So Wade Good, Cooper Bentley, Brandon Davis now, your top 3. And then we've got Dustin Medley and Ben Driscoll.
Rounding up that top 5. 6th is Kenneth Cozine. Right behind him, Tim Bacon, Johnny Gibbs, Ethan Jones, and Blake Hartley. And I'm panning over. Our season leader right now is sitting in the starting gate.
Nick Reich is on the line. We got any Fordzilla fans watching?
Everybody right now, all eyes are on Nick. Again, he's a few points ahead, but not much.
Nick has an 11-point lead over Wade Good coming into this weekend, and Wade has already put down a 90.5 on this course, which is going to be tough to beat. Nick didn't drive all the way from Wisconsin, though, for second place.
And he is moving right now.
See what he can do with this course. Nick is also our featured driver for today's Featured Driver Friday. Sure, that'll give him a little extra boost. That's like a 5 extra horsepower or something whenever you're featured driver.
Yeah, that feels great. You can hear that buggy just ripping through the woods. Again, being careful, being cautious. Again, he's not making any silly mistakes.
He does have 3 more courses to run still this weekend.
Yeah, and you want to be fast, but not, crazy with it.
Let's check his time.
That's a 97.659, which puts him right behind Cooper Bentley in third place.
That's an excellent run from Nick. That keeps him in the top 3 right now. Not enough to edge out Wade currently. But again, we've got 3 courses still to complete. So it might be feel a little disappointing right now, but we got a lot still to go before it's all said and done.
Again, that's, like you said, I think that's a great point. We have 3 more courses. Getting out and trying to push too hard, because
the DNF could ruin it all.
Yeah, you can't necessarily win in the next course, but if you go out and make some bonehead mistake, you can definitely lose in the next course.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, Matt is going to go get ready for his run on the course. Matt, good luck.
Thank you.
Have
I appreciate
fun.
it.
And I'm going to have Zach join me up here in the booth, take over for a little bit.
We'll see you guys.
All right, Matt. See ya. Looks like we've got Dan Bowman on the line now. Zach, welcome. Welcome to the booth. Welcome to the show. What do you think of today's racing so far, real quick?
Just glad to be here. Man, this is a tight race between Nick and Wade. We were watching that, and we got Cooper sliding in, splitting the times. Points. Wade's got to make 12 possible points he can make if he takes first 4. It's exciting.
Here we go with Dan Bowman.
Let's see if Daniel Bowman still remembers how to drive. He's taken the last 2 races off.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, based on what we're seeing so far, Zach, that he's going to do just fine.
Oh, yeah, it's all coming back
anything.
to him. It's all coming back to him now.
Like Celine Dion.
Dan's changed his hairstyle for this race. He's running a top pony. It's a little weird. It's growing on me, though. Not as much as it is him.
Well, I like to say out here, look good, drive good, Zach.
Well, he nailed it.
Whether it's the hairstyle or the buggy color or whatever you got going on. It's a look.
Surprisingly enough, he has not taken his shirt off yet. It was a little chillier this morning than he's accustomed to, and he's managed to keep his clothes on most of the time.
And Dan is like our resident, I don't know, like beach boy, something, I don't know, something.
Him and Wade are in competition.
Most relaxed, happy-go-lucky, until it gets behind the wheel of the bouncer.
I've seen him after he's had a bad luck run or break something or make a bad pass, and he's still just as smiling and happy to be here.
He's happy to be here, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for a fact his business is in the gutters.
You might. 106.435 for Dan Bowman. You might need to explain that about this business a little, Zach. That's how rumors get started.
Okay.
Don't you know?
Dan Bowman is in the gutter business.
There you go.
It was a little punny, but
just a little punny.
Like I said,
in the gutters in a good way.
Yeah, being in the gutters is not a bad thing for him. And considering he buys everything Tim Cameron will sell him, that's pretty interesting. But speaking of Tim Cameron, here's my favorite buggy of all time. One of the fastest builds Tim ever did, and one of the most successful buggies in the history of rock mounts, and 3 different drivers. I'm pretty sure this buggy has finished in the top 3 ever since its existence in the NRRA. Whoever drives it wins. It is super capable. I say to everybody, it is the second best at everything, which makes it overall the most successful, awesome buggy ever made.
And this is Hell Bent with Daniel Heckley behind the wheel. Daniel 4th in points coming into the weekend. So I don't know about this buggy winning everything, but it's doing all right. It's keeping Daniel in that top 5 overall for the season right now.
Like I said, I've had to hand the driver of that buggy, whoever it was, one of the top 3 trophies every year since its existence. And Daniel has become very comfortable. You can tell with his throttle response and lack thereof letting up. At Rush Springs, for instance, everybody was, I don't know if I'm going to go left. I don't know if I'm going to go right. Daniel said, I'm not going to do either. I'm right up the gut. Which that hill pitches you the opposite direction you choose. So by doing that, he was managed to fall off in the center rut and power out.
He did the unexpected, and the hill didn't know what to do about it, and it worked for him.
Because there's only about 3 buggies that are capable of doing what that buggy did at that particular spot.
So what was the story behind this being such a fast build, Zach?
The story behind this is Tim built a buggy called Standback that he did not like. It had a 4-link system, trailing arm system. He just didn't. It was a new something he tried. Standback's racing with us now, and it's been revamped. It's a very capable buggy.
Yeah, Blake Hasten's racing it.
We ran the season opener in Texas, and he broke, and Timmy ended up with DNF. and put him behind the 8 ball.
Which Timmy does not like.
Yeah, Timmy's he's harder on himself than anybody could ever be on him. And he went back to the shop and immediately went to work on Hellbent, and before the next race, that buggy appeared.
And it's been winning races ever since. Daniel Hegley with a 97.600. Guys, Nick Reich had a 97.659. Daniel Hegley just put down a 97.600.
That is horrible for Nick. Great for Daniel.
Cooper had a 96.9, so that means right now it is Wade, then Cooper, then Daniel, then Nick on course 1.
Wow. And look, that doesn't mean a lot right now. Anybody can. I've seen Wade DNF 4 out of 4 runs in a finals situation. I've seen him completely thrash and tear down Gold Rush buggy one time. He has bad luck, but we're in his backyard, so he has a huge advantage of this is where he cut his teeth. Another reject fab representative right here, DC Thompson, driving that Boyd buggy, the quiet one. It's not
making some popcorn, as I like to say.
Yeah, that's okay. It'll blow the cobwebs out. I'm sure it'll start making power here pretty soon.
Man, DC's been trying and struggling with this bouncer, since last season. DC, obviously no stranger to racing with us. We're used to seeing him in the UTV classes. We even saw him race his stock 4-seater and get out and push it down the hill yesterday when he got it stuck on the ledge twice, which is definitely entertaining. But he has been struggling to keep his buggy running and be able to consistently race it for the last couple, since last year, I guess. So glad to see him at least back out here with it. It looks like he's doing all right, getting around the course right now.
DC is one of my best friends on this planet, and when you look up bouncing on a budget in the dictionary, there's a picture of DC.
He finds a way.
Yeah, and and Nick donated him a few tires to help him out. Aww. Tires that Nick's not willing to run anymore, but DC's glad to have them because he has a trick for that. And he's always been a heck of a good wheel man, and he's always run with second-rate equipment. He built some really good, capable chassis, but he had motor problems, and now this buggy here, it's a reject fab buggy. It's got good balance, got good ground clearance, and when it runs good, the horse pressure's good, but it struggles constantly.
Well, he looks like DC's going to be able to get across that finish line for course 1.
We'll just mark that as a win. Too soon.
107.529 for DC Thompson.
Good job, DC. Whoa, somebody's angry at the line. Clint
Garrison ready to rock and roll.
Liberty 2 buggy, Clint Garrison. I think he just got it back. Danny Smith had it, did some work on it in Memphis, picked it up and got it. Wade's been working on it. Danny's been working on it. Between those two masters, we should see a really good, dependable, great running buggy, in my opinion.
Well, Clint is 5th in points coming into the weekend, so he's had a very solid, consistent season so far. And hopefully he can, like you said, really to have a masterful couple of runs here with this buggy freshened up and ready to go.
Clint, this season, if anything else, if I could pick an adjective, it would be he's dependable as far as he's been able to finish in the top 5 consistently. He hadn't found that perfect groove yet to be battling out for the first place, but man, he is a competitor. And with that gap between what Nick doesn't want to see right now is anybody else slide in and put any more separation, because a points-based system would make it that much harder for him to make it up.
Well, and you say that about Clint. We've called Brandon Davis Mr. Consistent for a long time, but I've been saying that about Clint, too, for the last season or two. He's kind of like the junior Mr. Consistent coming up, and he doesn't really ride the ragged edge and get in there and like you said, be battling it out for the top 1, 2, or 3 spots, but he puts down these fast, consistent times, and that's why he's hanging out at top 5 right now, 5th place coming into the weekend.
100%.
Lucky for him, he had some good stunt drivers filling in for the race or two as well.
Brandon should have his new motor definitely before next season. Hopefully before Battle of the Bouncers. Who knows? I don't know if he's going to try to break into that because he may not have as much horsepower as he wants, but he has a dependable buggy at this point. So he could make some really good passes. And he's getting better in it. You can see his confidence build the more he runs that buggy, too.
Yep.
He looked like he was on a mission in his last run today. He looked really good.
Even Clyde said, it looked like Brandon's got something to prove. Clint's got a really good smooth run going right now.
Mm-hmm.
So our top 3 right now is Wade Good, followed by Cooper Bentley, and then Daniel Heckley with Nick Reich right behind him. Daniel with a 97.60, Nick with a 97.65. Let's see what kind of time Clint Garrison is going to be able to pull off here.
Well, and you look at a run like Nick's, and you have to wonder where his time was. On that first long hill pull, he got a little bit loose in the rear end, and it walked around on him. He made a little more turns than he wanted to, so. Oh, my God.
That's a 107.268 for Clint Garrison.
Well, anyway, when he was going up that hill, it got a little loose sideways, kicked on him, took a little more time than he wanted, and also the turn at the bottom, he let out and looked like he was unsure if he was going to make that cut. And he had it, and he made it effortlessly, but, I mean, if you can't second-guess yourself on stuff like that when it's come down to hundreds of seconds.
Well, speaking of coming down to hundreds of seconds, I want to point out that we have 3 times in the 107 right now. We've got Dustin Medley with a 107.9, Clint Garrison with a 107.2, and DC Thompson with a 107.5. I don't know how they do it, Zach. Every time.
That's impressive. But then you've got Wade Goo with a 9.0530. Now that is what shocks me. How did he gap these guys? Because all these guys are really good drivers, and they have awesome equipment.
Speaking of, we've got Jay Storts coming up to the line now in that brand new Fortitude bouncer.
Is that 3 or 4 reject fab buggies with 107? It's definitely 3.
Here we go with Jay Storts.
That's 3. Look, Jay Storts with a Jake Pike deal. This is his new buggy. He's still getting the sea legs. Jake is super excited about this. He's having the ORI shock blues still, but I think he's had them taken off and completely rebuilt, redesigned. Still getting a lot of pop-up, and that comes with not having enough up travel or not unloading the suspension before you hit the ledge. Jay has untapped potential, in my opinion, and once he gets this thing right, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's probably trying to
Fords to be reckoned with.
Ford to be, yeah.
Jay is known for always running the Ford power plant and having a fun play off of the Ford name in all of his buggies, like this one being Fortitude.
Oh, is that the name? I changed it, but it's okay.
Well, I'm not surprised, Zach. This is our 3rd Jake Pike build out here on the hill so far today, and so it's not looking good right now for Jay, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like the build's messing up.
I don't think it's that.
The Ford motor, unfortunately.
One thing we know about Jay is he is not going to quit, no matter where he's at or what the obstacle is on the course.
No.
Jay is going to see it through or see that bouncer in pieces.
Yeah, Jay doesn't limp a bouncer back to the trailer. You will have to carry it. Yeah, it goes in pieces. Come on, Jay. Stay with it, buddy. He's swinging that ultra wide for somebody with 4 steer.
You know, we like to tell the folks at home watching on a screen that everything out here is just more than it looks on camera. The hills are steeper, the ledges are taller, the ruts are deeper. It's all just a little bit more than it looks on your screen right now.
And the dust is thicker.
And the dust is definitely thicker. 143.784 for Jay Storts.
He obviously had some mechanical issues where he had to stop and reset, cut it off, and that hurt him. But for the most part, I want to get more feedback on how his suspension did, because the motor problem probably can be rectified with an LS.
Everything else looked pretty good.
But yeah.
Especially, a brand new build. You got a lot of kinks you got to work out.
New buggy
Takes
blues
time.
are real.
Yep. Well, looks like we've got 3 drivers left for course 1 of our Bouncer Cup here. And then we've got our limited bouncers coming up next.
This bouncer may look like a limited, but it's not. Well, it is, but it's not running in the limited
identifies
class.
as unlimited, and it is. Matt Holt is ready to hit this hill.
Yeah. All right.
All right, here we go with Matt Holt. You guys are used to seeing him up here in the booth with me. But one of the great things about Matt is his passion for every part of the sport, whether he's driving, whether he's commentating, whether he's just hanging out with the other drivers and just enjoying being with the people. Any way he can be involved in the sport, he's got so much passion and energy that he puts into it, and that's one of the things that I love about Matt.
Oh, yeah, Matt is a really good person. He is a lot better person than he is racer.
Zach.
Sorry. I know. I love Matt, and I want to see him do good. That's all I've ever wanted.
Zach has the tough love angle for Matt. He thinks if he can make Matt mad that he'll drive faster.
He gets enough coddling from everybody else. Real easy, Matt. There you go. Just pretend like you're not even racing.
Matt
Nailed
calls
it.
this the hyperactive rock bouncer built by High Society Off-Road.
This gives the fans a really good opportunity to see the course slowed down where they can really see where the ledges are and everything. I think this is more of a public service than it is a competitive race. Come on, let's go.
I think Zach's been saving up his Matt material all weekend.
I'm trying so hard to be nice. If I didn't love him, I wouldn't say anything.
Zach's life motto is, if you don't have anything nice to say, at least make it funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He just has so much material. Come on, Matt. Let's go. Come on, guys. He needs all the help he can get. Let's go. Yeah. Come on, baby. It's a great time to remind y'all that we have concessions and everything for the crowd. We really appreciate y'all being out here, being with us. All of our people watching on the live feed at home, we were less fortunate and couldn't make it out. Thank you for tuning in and following us. We love all of our fans, and without y'all, there would be no sport. Without y'all and the racers and the people putting it on. It's a group effort.
Let's just say it definitely wouldn't be as much fun anyway.
It takes a village, a dysfunctional
a lot
village.
more boring if we were all just out here by ourselves.
Is he still racing? Yeah.
Is his front end pulling?
I think I think there's a loose nut on the steering wheel. You know, he could turn right and just drive through that kudzu. Just
I think we're going to send out a recon vehicle, see if Matt needs some recovery assistance.
I hate this for Matt. Like I said,
Oh, yeah.
he is a great person, and he deserves a win. I don't know if we'll ever see it, but he deserves it. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on.
And nobody is more excited for Matt than we are to see him cross the finish line.
Or shocked. We're always happy for Matt. I mean, he's not even happy right now. Yeah, he's getting a real taste of what this Kentucky dirt tastes like, too, because that is dusty and thick up there. Oh, no.
If you're wondering why he doesn't just back straight down the hill, when you have your 5-point harness on, you've got a full face helmet, you've got a Hans, a neck restraint device, it's not that easy to turn and see what's going on behind you and to, back up anywhere, unless maybe you have a backup camera. I know we actually had that in the Avenger. It was pretty handy. A little screen up there.
Yeah, you're just showing
I
off.
recommend it.
Yeah.
We have actually also seen Matt back up into a hole and roll over before because he didn't know it was behind him, and we didn't know that he was going to back into it. So
this is a great time for
sure
us
he's
to
not
mention
wanting to do that right now.
A local hero, a rock racing legend, and now an Uber Eats delivery driver, Colby Reich. Holy moly. If y'all ain't ever been ate up, then you've been missing the good stuff. Old Colby Reich. With that mustache. Yeah. Yeah, it's Colby. Y'all pay him off, guys. Thank you, Matt. You did the best you could with what you had.
We always appreciate a self-recovery as well. Keep things moving out here. We do have 2 drivers left for course 1. I think we're going to have Clay Kaysen pulling up to the line next.
Clay Kaysen is another one of our drivers that has the capability of splitting the times and pushing Nick even further in the hole than he has already fallen.
Yep.
He's running a TC-built buggy stand back. We mentioned it earlier. Cash LaCroix took that buggy and made some really good passes. He was competitive with that buggy for a short time.
Well, speaking of short time, this is Clay's 4th race in this bouncer. We're used to seeing Clay dominating in the UTV class, but he stepped up to the bouncer just, partway through the season. And he's coming off a 5th place finish at our last event at Rush Springs Ranch. So to be in here and be competitive when he's used to the UTVs, obviously he's a wheelman, but it's still a little bit of, adjustment going from UTV to bouncer.
When you have as much natural talent, it doesn't take as long as you would think to really get a feel for the power. You see that thing pull the left front wheel out of the hole. The horsepower is what is so impressive and the biggest adjustments you have to make.
Yeah, Clay's first race in this bouncer was at the Good Evening Ranch in West Virginia, and he was able to complete the course that only 3-4 other drivers finished. I think maybe there were
Hill 1.
There were 5 or less on Hill 1.
Yeah.
And Clay Clay was
Now,
one
Hill
of
two,
them. Nick was the only one to
just
complete
Nick.
Hill 2, but even Hill 1 was just a handful of drivers, and Clay was one of them. His first race out in the bouncer, so that was definitely impressive.
That is a big boost on your self-confidence and a proof to your natural talent. There you go. He's cutting his turn sharp. He's doing really good. The downhill is where you make or break this, and one reason Wade Good has the time he has with the gap that he's carrying is his downhill has been unmatched.
Yep.
He looks like he's about to crash all the time, but he never does. So I'm not going to say he's out of control. I'm going to say he's just that good at it.
A great run from Clay. Let's check his time. .593 for Clay Kaysen.
Competitive.
I believe that's like a fifth place time right now, I think. We'll give you guys the rundown after we complete our last pass here with Connor Flynn.
I talked to Connor Flynn earlier. He's made at least 4 rounds of tightening on his suspension. He thinks he was bottoming out too much. I think the buggy rode pretty good, but he was probably right. He was probably hitting his bump stops a little more often than he wanted, so he has stiffened the suspension just slightly. But his suspension in this particular buggy has looked really good from day one. So this is one of those buggies. His wheel speed holds him back just a little bit because of the gearing is so low, but that results in a lot of torque and a lot of hole shot. So there's a lot of spots like this that he'll be able to back up, not as far as some of the other buggies do, and to take off and pull. But unless there's...
If it stays running.
Somebody said they heard a clunk, so that's never good.
Well, this isn't looking good for Connor.
He may have been putting in a different CD.
That's important.
I mean, if you don't have the right
you
driving
gotta have
music,
the right, gotta have the right music on.
you know how the right song, you can just be driving and just come on, you're like, now I feel good. Let's hit it.
I literally have a playlist called Drive Fast on my
See,
phone.
I didn't make this up. This is a real thing. He's got Cody down there looking at it. Yeah, you might just want to go home. It looks like he's going to bow out. Yeah.
Man, well, I hate to see that for Connor. Well, it looks like we are wrapped up now for course 1 for the unlimited bouncers. Zach, thanks for joining me up here.
Absolutely.
We're going to bring Matt back up in here and look at our top 10 results for you guys before we move on to our limited bouncer class.
I am 100% using that line from now on. I'm just changing a CD up here, guys. Give me a minute. I love that. Yeah, Zach is always very quick with the wit.
You see Connor Flynn getting pulled off the course there, driving off the course. So let's take a look at our top 10 from course 1. Wade Good held on to the lead with that 90.5, followed by Cooper Bentley with the 96, Daniel Heckley with the 97.60, and then I think that is supposed to say Nick Reich on your screen there with that 97.65 at 4th place, and then Clay Kaysen rounding out top 5 with that 99.
Then Brandon Davis coming in 6th with that new UFO car. Dan Moman 7th, Clint Garrison 8th, Clayton Smith 9th, and Dustin Medley 10th. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back shortly, right after these messages, and we'll start our limited rock bouncing class.
There's only one tire brand that can call itself legendary. Rebirthed from the depths of Baja and representing decades of racing heritage, Mickey Thompson Tires announces a new American mud terrain legend. This dominating tire is purpose-built for thrill seekers everywhere. The new Baja Legend MTZ. It's time to get what you really want in a tire. Silica reinforced T4 tread compound for enhanced wet performance. PowerPly 3-ply construction for sidewall protection and responsive handling. Improved 4-pitch side biters for bold looks and off-road grip. Proven MTZ tread styling for undisputed traction. 35 different sizes, and one is just waiting for your rig. Gear up and roll with the American mud terrain legend, the Baja Legend MTZ.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are ready to go to course 1 for our limited bouncer class. Let's take a look at our points coming into the weekend. Justin Hoback is leading the class with 646 points, followed by Dustin Carter with 596. And then everyone from here on out has been raced just a couple events with us. So Dustin Vaughn with 109, Chad Daugherty with 96, Ranger Martin with 63, Chris Clements, Orland Mears, Eric Beck, and Colby Watson rounding out that page there.
Yeah,
and we are going to take a quick listen to Justin Hoback and hear his thoughts coming into the weekend.
Yeah, so it was my my first bouncer, and I bought it actually before Clyde had the limited bouncer class, and I bought it, and my intention was to get a feel for a bouncer and kind of learn what I don't know about bouncers. I've been watching them for 10 years, or 13 years, so my intention was to learn about the bouncer from the driver's seat and learn that side of it. And then Clyde said he's having this limited bouncer class, and it just so happened that my bouncer fit in that class. So I just thought, well, I'll just run that class, and my goal was to get some seat time, so got that done. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not what I expected, when I bought a bouncer. So I just wanted to try it out. I didn't expect to be, sitting in any sort of championship position. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, let's go to the line. We've got Colton Landwehr, his first time racing with us here at the NRRA. What he told me was that he made a bet with his dad that if he won an autocross race, that he was going to sign up for one of our events. So I guess he won, and here he is.
All right.
Glad to see him come join in the racing fun with us here.
I love his wrap. That's super sharp. I love seeing all the fun colors.
I knew you'd be eyeballing that one, Matt.
I would. I love fun colors and cool designs and.
So this is our limited bouncer class. This was our first season doing the limited class. What sets it apart from our cup class is that the vehicles, the buggies, must meet 2 of these 3 requirements. They've got an OEM engine block, they've got no power adders, and then a single shock per corner. So 2 of those 3 specifications have to be met, and then no rear steer in the class. And so that's what it's, we came up with this class after getting some feedback. Some guys that maybe already had a vehicle built, had a buggy built, maybe a trail rig, maybe just one they hadn't raced before but weren't quite ready to jump into the cup class yet. So we took that feedback and came up with those specifications and created the limited class for this season.
Yeah, and again, he's doing a great job, but we like to see guys kind of, guys, this is a perfect example. Hey, we want to come out, we can try one race here or one race there. It's always a lot of fun coming out and having a good time with doing some racing.
And our limited class races the same course as the unlimited. They're just only competing against each other.
Yeah, and this is a very difficult course out here, having Again, watching those ledges drop down. Yeah, I do. I love this. A sharp looking ramp. And again, this is the first course, so you've seen a lot of guys. We've seen some fast times out of the limited and the unlimited class.
Oh!
Dang it! Again, we talked about how big this rock is all weekend.
You know what? I figured we were going to see something on the Raceline rocks eventually, and I figured we'd just see people getting a little turtled. I wasn't quite expecting that.
Again, we talk about how guys are coming downhill, then they're transitioning to uphill.
Yep.
I think, using that momentum, rolling into it.
Oh, man, we hate to see that for Colton.
You can see his window net coming out. He's just... Again, these are a little bit. These take a little bit more time to get recovered than some of our UTVs. All right, we got an Amsoil action shot for you. Again, you can see him coming down and then making that turn to head right back up this big rock ledge. Backing up, get a little more squared because this big rock is a little bit off camber, and there's two big rocks. And again, you can tell how big they are compared to how massive this side-by-side is. Or, I'm sorry, rock bouncer. That looks like the back tire.
I think his back end just kind of slid off. It was just not quite high enough up on the rock.
Yeah. Kind of a weird angle there. Again, they'll get Keith up. Keith will get him flipped back over. And like you said, I usually these rocks do give some fits, but usually it's more of a UTV getting turtled on there. Or
turtle being a very technical term. Well, guys, we're going to let them continue this recovery, and in the meantime, you guys check out some of the other shows that are available on Power Sports World.
When you open up a motorcycle shop, it's a gamble.
I love motorcycles, but most off, I kind of like to create them.
We can build really anything from the ground up, anything.
There it is.
The bike that John picked is an old dirt bike.
This one, right here.
He literally went in his backyard and was like, that'll do.
Well, we got a good deal on it.
What even design? Like, how are we going to build this thing? And by we, I mean you.
I got a little angel. She ain't got no rock of diamond.
I think it takes a little bit of cojones to cut into your motor. Someone's trying to hit a home run because they're on television.
To see, these parts that were around back then, still alive and relatively well, and then how it all kind of comes together. That's just as exciting as riding the bikes.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding?
I think we did hit a home run. Well, it's not because we're on TV.
Make this bike my bitch.
I want them to ride it. I want their opinion of it. At the same time, there's only one of those bikes. If they push it too hard and it crashes, I might cry.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are just about done with that recovery of Colton Landwehr on the course. We've got 3 drivers left for course 1 of our limited bouncer class. Once we wrap up this class, we are going to shut down for a short break before we come back with our youth class.
Give everybody a chance to get some refills, the important stuff.
Yeah. And for those of us joining us on Power Sports World, we will shut down and then come back up around 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So I'm going to say roughly an hour after we shut down. That's when we'll come back up on Power Sports World. For those of us joining us online, we will be back after just about a 10-15 minute break for the youth class. So we've got Travis Skelton on the line, a name I hadn't seen on one of our driver lists in a while. Glad to see him back out here.
He was a OG legend in the UTV world.
Yeah. Speaking of we always talk about Wade having some fast downhill passes. I think Travis Skelton was kind of our original downhill king.
I one time, Clyde had I don't remember what park it was at. We had some course where they had to go up around a tree and come back down. And Clyde was like, hey, we're doing this. Nothing. It was like a Friday afternoon. This is, I think, before we even had the production. He's like, can you go sit on top of this tree? He goes, just make sure everybody turns around this tree. Keep them honest.
Uh-huh.
I said, okay. And everybody came up. And it was interesting because Clyde just said you got to turn on the tree. He didn't say which direction. So it was kind of fascinating to see which guys went left and which guys went right. And it was kind of a long climb uphill, went around the tree, came back. And then guys would turn and go back downhill. And some guys would take a while going downhill. Travis Skelton was obviously flying uphill. He turned around and just disappeared. And I was like, what even happened? And it was just amazing.
All gas, no brakes.
Yeah, 100%. So once you see 20, 30, 40 guys do that, you get a feel for how fast is fast. It's like judging a dancing competition. After 100 people, you get to see how fast guys are. And he was so fast. So, again, I think Travis Skelton in a Big Rock Bounce will be a great show. I'm sure he's about to put one on for us.
Yeah, we saw him race this buggy. Oh, man, it's been a little while now. Yeah. But definitely what we got used to seeing him in was the UTVs. I've only seen him race the Bouncer maybe a couple times. So, definitely glad to see him back out here joining in the action.
This is a rear mount engine. I know a lot of we've seen a couple different Kentucky buggies come out, Tennessee buggies come out with that rear mount engine. Very small, simple design.
Yeah, this one's got a unique shape to it and a unique look compared. And part of it is because of that rear mid engine point, but I like the chassis too.
Yeah, kind of, you want to keep it kind of small, low center of gravity. Again, you saw them there kind of putting it on two wheels, which having a bigger, wider, top-heavy chassis might not have made that turn. You see him kind of bouncing down there through those big steps. Woo! Getting those ledges, you can see the back wheels kind of just carry mid-air for a minute. That right there, we talked about ravines. I started to kind of pull into there. That ravine is so huge.
You realize that was not going to be the way to go.
I just kept the wheel cut and pulled it all around. But again, you've seen some of the guys with the rear steer being able to cut around there.
Travis has a really good run going right now.
Yeah, nice smooth.
This is our second driver for course 1 of the limited bouncer class. We've got 4 drivers in the limited this weekend. Justin Hoback leading in points. It's so small and nimble.
It really is.
It's like a giant UTV or like a mini bouncer.
It really
It's
does.
like a cross between the two.
It does kind of look like a miniature bouncer there. That's a 123.875. Yeah, I was dying laughing when Zach said, yeah, he's just up there changing seating, no big deal. And you could hear, again, with our headsets on, you can't always hear stuff, but I was turned around, getting ready to climb back in the booth, and it sounded like a ring and pinion. I mean, it could have been in the transfer case somewhere,
a little
but
crunchy and rattly.
It sounded very ring and pinion-y.
Uh-oh. We've got Dustin Carter leaving the line now. Dustin Carter is second in points in the limited class.
Dustin Carter runs a small block Ford that sounds like a big block. Because this thing just wraps out. I mean, when he's on the hill and hammering down, this thing just echoes through the haulers down here.
So our points battle in the limited class is coming down to Justin Hoback and Dustin Carter. They've been our most consistent racers this season. We've had a lot of other drivers come for a race or two, but the points is definitely coming down to Justin and Dustin. Justin coming in with a 50-point lead over Dustin, though, for the weekend. So Dustin Carter's got his work cut out for him right here.
He is romping down. Again, that small block Ford is definitely singing. Also on our starting line, where all the buggies are launching out of, we got ruts about a foot deep over there.
Oh.
You can feel it when you pull in. That's like the buggy sinks into them.
There's no escaping the ruts out here.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Again, you can see a lot of guys were starting to hug that left side. Now kind of just coming over the middle of that little ledge there.
There you go. We already saw one rollover on the Raceline Rock today. We don't need another one.
There we go.
$131.302 for Dustin Carter. That means Justin Hoback is going to wrap up course 1 for us for the limited class.
He is throttling that puppy. Again, Justin Hoback out there racing on course. We got Kenneth Cozine running our starting gate for us, since Justin can't be running the starting gate and racing at the same time.
We already saw Justin racing in the UTV stock class as well. And he'll also be helping out with our youth class, where his 2 kiddos will be racing in. So it's a full weekend for Hoback Racing Team. This is Justin's first season racing in a bouncer. This Showstopper 2.0 built by Jason Spiegel originally.
He built a few of those buggies.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Kind of like the old Jimmy Smith chassis, you know. First time I ever saw that was out there rocking with John Campbell was racing one. The old tetanus.
Yeah, that has been a while. Justin has had a couple of stunt drivers also filling in for him, and he's given them the opportunity to race the bouncer. I think he had Brantley Havens race it once and Cody Kaysen.
And just to clarify, it wasn't that he didn't show up. It wasn't that he didn't bring the bouncer. It wasn't that he didn't spend the time prepping the car. He did all that.
Yeah, it was ready to go.
And still let them drive it just because he wanted to get them some seat time and get some experience. So, I mean, huge shout out to Justin. It's not like he calls him and said, hey, I'm not going to be there. You guys show up. He still fueled the car, brought the car, prepped the car, brought it, and then said, hey, you know what? If you guys really want to race, you can drive it. So, you know, what a class act Justin is. And, again, super awesome guy for doing that. You know, very caring and very cool to see, especially, you know, Bentley Havens being a young guy, get in there and drive the bouncer. I mean, how awesome would that have been? You know, to be that young, be like, hey, I got to go race a bouncer? Like, what'd you do this summer? Well, let me tell you. Yeah, again, this is the very first course to recap of the weekend. So to go out there, blaze through it, and break is not a great thing, or roll over. So a lot of guys you can see, even in the bouncer class, our first course, they all went out there. They had nice, smooth runs. I think everybody at Daniel Heckley was sending it like a slightly more than moderate send. Daniel was like, monster trucking through there.
There was no moderate there.
I feel like Daniel only has one switch. He's just full tilt, you know. But again, I think even he was being just somewhat calculated. Don't want to make a silly mistake going into the end of the weekend, especially being finals, trying to recap with all your points. I mean, only a silly guy would come in and break on the first course.
Yeah, I don't know who would do that. It's worth pointing out, Matt, that with 4 drivers in our limited class and one of them being a DNF, Justin's going to end up on the podium today.
That's a 191.043.
And that wraps up course 1 for the limited bouncers. Travis Skelton with the fastest time of a 1:23, followed by Dustin Carter with a 1:31 and Justin Hoback with a 1:91. So a reminder, guys, we're gonna shut down, take a short break for our online audience. If you're joining us on Rock Racing TV's YouTube channel, we will be back in about 10-15 minutes with our youth class. If you're joining us on Power Sports World TV, then we will be back in roughly an hour. So that'll be about 2 o'clock Eastern time after our youth class, and then we'll be back up to continue with our Bounty and Bouncer Course 2.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here. Again, as Bree said, we have a ton of more racing action going your way. But we are going to take a quick break for the Power Sports World TV, and we'll be back with you guys later on this afternoon. So make sure you guys stay tuned.